Hey everyone, it's Peter. It's just after 6 a.m. here in New York City in early August. Today we're gonna fly for the first time in a long time, and you're gonna come with us. So we're flying out of JFK today, and we are going to Mexico City with a connection there to Huatulco and Oaxaca. We'll be flying Delta, which is code sharing with AeroMexico. So we'll be taking a Delta plane, a Boeing 757 to Mexico City. We actually have an overnight layover in Mexico City, and we'll transfer to an AeroMexico Connect Embraer tomorrow morning. Our flight time is expected to be just after 5 hours to Mexico City, and tomorrow will be just about an hour and 10 minutes. Delta did promise us an empty middle seat. AeroMexico not so much. So we'll see how many passengers are actually checking into the airport. So we're gonna see if there's anything even for us to eat. Hopefully there's something for us to eat. The website says that everything is open and ready for contactless payment. So here we are, we're gonna go see the flight. Eerily quiet in here. Of course, the automated kiosk did not work, so we had to go to the counter. So we were told to come to the last counter for our flight to Mexico. There's nobody here, but we are here waiting for that. So we checked in, and we both checked a bag, and of course, with the Delta and AeroMexico code share, our bag's only going to Mexico City for now, and we will figure out how and when our bag will connect over to Huatulco. Terminal 4 always has a long line, and sometimes they really mismanage it because they'll cut the line, they'll move the line, and then you're screwed. Doesn't look too bad now. Although permitted by TSA, my extra large bottle of sanitizer got extra scrutiny. Terminal 4's retail zone was a ghost town. Even though there seemed to be a good number of departures, almost all of the shops and restaurants were closed. Like I mentioned early on, all the lounges in this airport are closed. American Express was supposed to have opened its Centurion Lounge by now, but they've been closed until further notice. Even the Wingtips Lounge here and the other airline lounge, all closed. And so are a lot of places to eat. So this will be interesting.
So this concourse is like
forever. Huh? Seems like the only place that's open is Dunkin' Donuts by 33, and the line is super duper long. Dunkin' Donuts took almost an hour to get. It was pretty infuriating. After having our breakfast sandwiches, we headed to our gate, which was surprisingly packed. Delta staff also made sure to remind passengers that their middle seats were blocked in the main cabin. It isn't as apparent in first or business class, though, where there were less seats available. Hey, how you doing? I'm closer. Thank you. Our flight to Mexico City will be operated by an 18-year-old former Northwest Boeing 757. Hello.
Hola, buenos días.
23A. Thank you.
¿Cómo estás? 23A, right hand side, window seat. Hola, buenos días.
The captain just personally came and introduced herself to us, which is really, really nice, and she thanked all of us for being on board. So it's cool. She's down there now, going to go to row. Thank you to all the passengers.
Thank you so much for choosing to fly with us on Delta today. Also, I would just like to remind you that we take mask policy at Delta Airlines very seriously. Thank you for wearing your mask during the entire flight, unless you're eating or drinking. And thank you for wearing it correctly.
About an hour into the flight, the crew came around with a snack pack, which came with snack bars, chips, water, and hand sanitizer. The crew returned about 2 hours later with a second round of the same snacks. So I made it to the bathroom. It's like blue light or UV light. Pretty straightforward, pretty clean. Overall, the flight to Mexico was good, but a bit sad. The mood on board and at the airport was a bit somber, and was not how I remembered flying to be. But it was good to be back in the air.
So after all that, we made it to Mexico City almost unscathed. We something broke in our luggage, so we have a little situation to contain, and it's okay. But we made it through without any problems. The funniest thing about it all is that the immigration officer saw that I was from Thailand and wanted some Thai recipes. Pretty funny, but the airport here is the way we remember it. A lot less busy though, but everyone is wearing a mask so far. All the retail stores are open, at least on the arrivals level, Terminal 2. So here we go.
We'll continue our journey after a short night in Mexico City.
We're now back at Terminal 2 and are going to continue our journey all the way down to Huatulco.
Of course, AeroMexico wanted to charge us for our bags, even though both flights run the same ticket. After some pointed words from Gabe, they let our bags continue without charging us. Now to security.
So we checked back into Mexico City, and it was actually really extensive. As soon as you walk in, you are given a sheet of paper to basically attest that you have not had COVID or been in contact or had any symptoms. You take that, you go to the gate. We got temperature checked so many times. And what I appreciate about this airport that they didn't have in New York is that every person who goes into the airport's air zone has to actually step into a sanitizing pit for your feet, and shoes rather, not feet. So you sanitize your shoes, you get your temperature checked multiple times, and then you're allowed to enter the secure part of the airport. Now, The same thing happened when we walked into the lounge. They checked our boarding pass, and then they temperature checked us as well. So it's reassuring. The staff here are wearing face masks and gloves, and they're sanitizing around the clock. And the seats are positioned 2 meters apart, 6 feet apart, so everything is basically social distance. There is nothing to eat except for this. They took away all the hot food, but there are plenty of beverages, so help yourself to juice, beer, maybe a screwdriver. Temperature check yet again, but we are now heading to the gate. Our flight to Huatulco will be operated by an old Embraer with no room for social distancing. There is no social distancing on this plane. Immediately after takeoff, the standard snack service began. We were able to get beers and the same mixed nuts from the lounge. Our initial descent began right after snack service.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will disembark by sections and rows. Please remain seated as you wait for instructions to disembark. Thank you.
We safely landed at Huatulco, and we are being deplaned row by row so that we have safe distance, but that was probably one of the most beautiful landings I've ever seen.
Overall, this flight was more reminiscent of previous flights, but with some more sanitation methods in place. However, the amount of people on board was still pretty questionable.
Why does everything have to be so beautiful in Mexico? Let's go. Our paper attestment that we are COVID-free as far as we know. And right after that is luggage.
And now, it's time for Huatulco. Be safe and safe travels.